What's up, YouTube? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Keto
Conversation.
So let's get started. If I'm not mistaken, when this video goes live, it'll be Wednesday, January the 1st.
2020.
So we should start by saying Happy New Year, and we hope that you have a great 2019, but that you also strive to make 2020 the best year that you can have. So if 2019 wasn't that great for you, nothing you can do about it. Forget about it. Move on and make 2020 the best that you can.
That's right.
So today we want to talk about committing or recommitting to the keto lifestyle. And for some people, well, I should explain. Because we talk about lifestyle here on our channel versus the diet a lot, because Sarah and I have been doing keto for 4 years.
2020 will be our fourth year.
4 years, and so we actually do live the keto lifestyle. So we've gone beyond just a diet. Yeah, when we started, when we started, was it a diet for you? It was a diet for me. I was just trying to lose weight.
Well, I was actively trying to lose weight. Yes.
Yeah, it was a diet when we started,
right.
But then as we got involved with keto, started learning about keto, reading, getting educated, we quickly found that there were a lot more benefits than just losing weight.
Right.
Don't get us wrong, that is a great benefit.
But a lot of times you find better health by losing weight.
By losing the weight.
Yeah, it's
right.
just you have less weight, you have fewer health problems generally.
Right.
So.
Right. And so we are past, just the diet phase, not really trying to actively lose weight any longer. Although I'm this year I'm going to recommit to, I want to lose some more weight. I never got to the goal that I wanted to get to. So I want to lose probably another 30 pounds. That's just something out there.
Within the year 2020?
Yeah, within the year 2020. And that should be relatively easy to do. And that just might mean I need to tighten some things up doing keto, even on keto. Maybe controlling my macros a little bit better, or just maybe even doing more intermittent fasting. But I'm not looking at it as a big deal.
Right. Because you know what you're doing.
I understand what I have to do, and it's just a matter of executing it and doing it. So, again, this is about either recommitting to the keto lifestyle or committing to the keto lifestyle maybe for the first time.
Right.
Because we realize that as the new year rolls around, a lot of times people are making resolutions.
They're searching for a diet plan or some way to lose weight.
Right, and so I will say that keto will work for you. You just have to stick with it. You just have to do it. Have some patience, but keto will work. It will change it'll change your health if you let it, and if you follow the plan and stick with it. So we know that you've lost probably about 100 pounds.
I have indeed.
And I've lost only probably about 75 pounds, depending on what day of the week it is and when you get on the scale. So anyway, the first point we want to have is remind yourself why you're decided to do either the keto diet or why you started down the keto lifestyle road in the first place.
Right. Is it better health? Is it weight loss? Is it a combination of both? Whatever the reason that motivated you in the first place or is motivating you currently.
Right.
Remember that, because that is going to help you in your commitment and your resolve.
Right.
Either to commit to this lifestyle or to get back on the wagon if you've fallen off over the holidays or whatever the case may be.
Sure. And then, I'm going to say something, this is not in our notes, but I remember listening to something, and, sometimes you need to get, sometimes you have to get angry about stuff. And so, and what I mean by that is, if you don't like where you are right now, sometimes you have to, what you tolerate, you will continue to let happen. A lot of times we change when we get upset, when we get angry about things. I don't know how you get angry about your weight, but I guess you could. If you've been trying to lose weight forever and ever and it's just not working, maybe this is the year where you just get, you say, I'm fed up with this, I'm going to do it no matter what. And I'm going to do this keto thing, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to get better, I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to get better health, and I'm going to stick with this keto thing. sometimes you got to get angry. You got to get pissed off. Oops, did I say pissed off?
Yeah, it's
Sometimes you have to get angry. You got to get upset and do what you have to do so you can commit to what you need to do. That's just a principle in life. All right. So what's the next thing?
So the point I had down as number 2 is not to beat yourself up. So that may sound like it is in direct contrast with what you just said. However, we all fail sometimes.
That's when you fail. That's right.
We live in a sugar and gluten-filled world. Everywhere we go, we're faced with temptation daily.
Sure.
Unless you live strictly as a hermit inside your house and Amazon delivers everything, and then you're going to face. But even then, you're subject to like advertisement and stuff on TV. So we are human. We will probably fail again. That might happen. What's important is that we keep on trying, and that's definitely an important point. So if you're here and you're watching this video, you either would like to try because things have failed for you in the past, or you have been on the ketogenic lifestyle and maybe you're struggling, and so this is an encouragement for you to try some more, to try again, to start trying, whatever the case may be.
Sure. There's no need to beat yourself up.
No.
I mean, what's
done is done.
Yeah, what's done is done. We all beat ourselves up. Most of the time, we beat ourselves up harder than most other people will.
Yes.
And so, you have to learn how to forgive yourself. Just move on from when you do fail, when you do stumble. Hey, it's going to happen, but you don't need to let it continue to happen.
No.
But don't beat yourself up over it. Just, pick yourself up. If you're just starting keto, you are not going to do it perfectly.
No.
You're not going to do everything right.
Especially not at first.
Right. You're not going to do everything right. It's a new lifestyle. It's a new way of eating. You're going to have a lot of temptations. Again, don't beat yourself up. Keto can be very forgiving, and you just need to, keep your carbs low.
That's number 1.
Even if you do that, and if you just do that, number 1, that'll help you right there.
Yep.
Whether you do keto perfectly or not, if you keep your carbs low,
that is number 1.
That will help you out.
Everything
right there.
else. Can
So again, don't beat yourself up, and just move forward.
Right.
Go ahead.
But then point number 3 is don't excuse your behavior, own it. So this correlates back to what you were saying before. So make note of the situations where maybe you've succumbed in the past or where other diets have failed you, and try harder to avoid them. Taco Tuesday, I had a taco, so it was Tuesday's fault.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Okay? My kids had pizza, so I had pizza.
Right.
We could give ourselves every excuse in the book as to why we're not doing something or why we're allowing temptation to continue to come into our lifestyle. At some point, you have to own it, and you have to say, I've got to change this. I'm done. It's on me. Only I can make it better.
Sure. Sometimes somewhere you have to own it, take some responsibility. We're always talking to our kids about being responsible for their actions, taking responsibility. They're kids. It's a new concept to them. But most of us are adults, but we still have to be reminded, be responsible for your actions, own it. Just you screw up, you go into a part, and because a lot of times what'll happen is sometimes you can avoid situations where you might run into trouble.
Well, and that's the thing, is learning the situations that cause you some trouble. If you know that going to the break room at noon on a Friday, they're going to have goodies in there, Yeah. Or if you walk by Mary's desk and she's got a candy jar, take a different route. There are certain times where you just you're putting yourself right in the path of temptation, and if you can avoid it, avoid it.
Yeah. So just own up to your behavior, and then make the changes you need so you can deal with the different situations you have to go through.
Right.
Let's see what's next.
Number 4, keep a journal or notes. Sometimes just writing down how a certain food made us feel when we ate it. So it doesn't even have to be like where you're even like keeping a journal of the food you're consuming. That helps a lot of people. I know that you like writing down your macros, and that works for some people. Some people don't care for that. But even just as a basic jotting down a note, I ate a Krispy Kreme donut on Tuesday. I felt like XYZ. can maybe help you remember, because sometimes after you're done with that and several days have passed, maybe you've gotten back on the path, to help prevent you from that temptation again. Sometimes writing down exactly how you felt after you ate that food can be helpful, because a lot of times maybe you don't remember what you felt like. Maybe some of your inflammation came back and your joints started aching again, or you felt sick to your stomach, or you got a headache and you hadn't had a headache in 2 months, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes if you just write a little note, this is how I felt when I ate the donut, it can be helpful.
I see. Yeah, good tip.
Yeah.
Good tip.
So it's just a little thought, because it can lead to several days of feeling yucky, and so if you just kind of write it down, maybe you can avoid it next time.
Yeah, and you can also write down like the times. Now, I've talked about this before. I know when I'm really tired, when I don't get enough sleep, I find myself really snacking the next day. Now, when I say snacking, I'm not snacking on donuts or chips. I'm eating keto stuff that I know.
You're eating more often than
I'm
you
eating
like
more
to.
often than I like. I know that, so that's something that I have to really work on when I get in those situations. I have to work on it. I haven't necessarily wrote that down before in a journal, but I have thought it through. And I think that's the whole point of writing it down, and keeping a journal or notes.
Remembering.
Is so you can remember and you can think through those situations, and you can say, oh, okay, if I'm tired, this is what I need to do. Maybe this is a strategy I need to take versus just going through the motion. Because it's easy just to go through the motions. It's easy when you're stressed. That could be another time when you're feeling stressed, to go back to those things that you're used to having. That's normal.
Right.
But if you think about that, and if a journal helps for you to think about those things,
to
recall and write those things down, then maybe when those situations happen, maybe you grab a piece of string cheese versus a piece of a donut.
Right.
You grab the lesser of two evils.
Exactly.
The much lesser. The cheese will be way better than the donut. So. All right, what's
the next point is find support.
Sure.
So whether that's a Facebook group, YouTube videos such as our channel,
right.
However you find support, you can get help with suggestions, ideas on how to stay the course, maybe some suggestions of what other people have done.
Right.
Any way that you can find support. If you're fortunate enough to have family members that support you, that's wonderful. We are very fortunate to have each other in this, but not everyone has that,
right.
And that's why we strive to be here as a community for assistance when we can, helping people on this lifestyle and people beginning this lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, we live this as a lifestyle every day. We were talking about this, I think it was last week. I asked you a question. I asked you something about if we weren't, because we have this channel, we kind of have this built-in accountability, and I don't think that was on purpose. It was just It wasn't on purpose. I mean, we started this channel.
Let's start a channel so we have accountability.
Yeah, we started this channel so that we could help people find out about keto, understand keto and its benefits. But for us, it does give us some accountability. So I can't. I'm around stuff all the time, just like probably you are too. Mm-hmm. But I can look back and think about, oh wow, there's 27,000 people who have signed on to follow this channel for whatever reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of people.
Right.
But it's still, this is what we've committed to do, and so it does help give us some accountability.
I agree.
I'm going back to the whole find support.
Right.
So we find support even from each other, but even from other people that we've met through our channel or through different
if
Facebook
someone
groups.
says to us, hey, you've encouraged me, I've lost 30 pounds in the last 20 days, I'm encouraged. I'm supported.
It encourages us too. It supports us,
so
right.
it's a mutual beneficial thing here. We gain support from everyone that we're trying to support. So it is a circle of support.
Yeah. Next.
So point number 6 is don't deprive or punish yourself.
What do you mean?
Because if you go too far in the other direction with restrictions and limitations, then you can go the opposite direction, where then you're engaging in harmful things like caloric restriction and other things. So if you feel that maybe you haven't been as successful as you would like to be on other diet programs or on the ketogenic lifestyle so far, don't get too crazy and say I'm going to eat 800 calories a day, and I'm never going to have anything, any low carb treats, or sometimes we just get to feeling like I'm just going to go 360 the other direction, and sometimes that can not be beneficial for us either. We do still need to have some balance in this lifestyle, especially if you want to do this long term.
Sure. Yeah, I think so I will say that if you're just starting keto, I think when we started, it took us a while before we started doing anything with artificial sweeteners or
you start cutting out everything, or you start actively fasting.
Yeah, it took us a while before when we first started keto, we were just trying to learn how to do it.
Right.
We were just trying to figure out how to do it.
And like you mentioned before, keeping your carbs low.
Yeah.
That's like step number one.
We were just trying to figure out how to do it.
Right.
And we had a list of go-to foods, and we didn't necessarily have a list, but it was we kind of fell into a routine of foods that we would eat all the time, these are tips actually, because we're just starting.
We kept it easy.
We kept our keto simple. It wasn't until later when we started adding, like making cookies, or you making other things. And this is going to be another point about having variety.
Right.
But when we started keto, we were just trying to figure out how to do it.
Right.
Our lifestyle was the foods we were eating pretty clean. They were pretty basic. Right. But in order for us to continue it as a lifestyle,
we had to keep it
simple. But we also then eventually we did have to start adding variety to our diet. We did have to start adding things in so that we wouldn't feel so restricted.
Exactly.
Feeling like we were missing so much stuff.
Exactly.
So, because again, we do keto as a lifestyle, and I think we kind of early on figured out that we were going to go that way. Not really sure why. Probably because I think it was because we had finally found something that worked for us.
Well, and I think that has been mentioned before, is that most people are able to stick to a new diet for, say, 4 to 6 weeks on average before they start having issues. And so, it's at that point, after that 4 to 6 week mark, where you might think, gosh, I miss cookies, or I miss donuts, or I miss pasta, or whatever the case may be that you're missing. And so sometimes at that point is when you can say, okay, I might want to try adding, a couple of new ketogenic foods to the rotation, just because you're missing a certain thing.
Right. So there's a balance. You have to keep things balanced. There's a point of when you're first starting where you might be a little bit more strict. But again, even when you're first starting, have balance with what you do. I had a friend. He just got, now he's not even doing keto. He's just trying to cut down his carbs. He's not necessarily officially doing keto.
Because he got some bad numbers as far as diabetes.
Right. So he was diagnosed as being a diabetic, and so and he's actually one of these people where you look at him and he's skinny.
Tofu.
Yeah. What?
Tofu. They call that too. Tofu.
Tofu. What's tofu?
Thin on the outside, fat on the inside.
Yeah. If you look at him, it's like, dude,
you can still have insulin resistance and be very slender.
And so we were talking about keto and just carbs in general and about that, and it was interesting how this he's coming from a perspective of a person who didn't even really realize that he had a problem. He wasn't outwardly didn't look like he looked like he was overweight, but he was we were talking about just keeping his carbs low, and it was kind of interesting how he had started to take that approach on his own just starting researching keto, researching.
Well, and it used to be, when you found out you had type 2 diabetes, they called it sugar diabetes. They knew it was directly related to sugar, so your first line of defense was, hey, you changed your diet. Medication wasn't even an option back then.
Right.
You changed your diet. You cut out the processed carbs and the sugar, and that was your medication.
That was your medication. That's how
it's not the same.
That's
now.
how you fixed it. It wasn't.
Right.
You didn't just get automatically put on metformin or whatever other kind of drugs that there are. Right. So keep a balance in what you're doing.
So our 7th point is to search out new recipes or try new foods. So that, like I mentioned before with the last point, you are going to reach a certain point where it is a special occasion. It's your birthday. It's, whatever the case may be, you're going to want a piece of cake, or you're going to want a cookie, or you're going to want something reminiscent of a food that you grew up with.
Right.
That is where channels such as CJ's Keto Kitchen and many others out there in the ketogenic lifestyle world can assist you in finding something similar to what you are missing in order for you to continue living this lifestyle long term.
Right. Exactly. Because, again, think long term. And like Sarah said, you are going to get to a point where you're just tired of eating the same stuff over and over again.
Or you just want something.
Or you just want something.
A treat.
Right.
You want something special.
Right.
Yeah.
Last night we actually we took the whole family to the movies. Mm-hmm. And we were in, Target. Mm-hmm. And we saw some Quest cookies. I had never purchased them before. But it was like, okay, let's get them. The kids were going to be eating popcorn at the theater. We had a bag or baggies that we had prepared for us with nuts and sugar-free candy and stuff like that. But we saw the Quest cookies, and
we knew we weren't going to get the mutant-sized bucket of popcorn with butter on it. So
so where I'm going with this is that, again, that's another way. There's a lot of variety out there, even for this lifestyle.
Right.
This keto is beyond just a fad diet.
Yes. And it's changed dramatically, even in the last 3 years that we've been on it.
There's a lot more stuff available for you, even off in your store shelves, that you can get. Is it all perfect? No, it's not all perfect. But even in, like I said, that situation last night when we went to the movies, they were there. We purchased them because they were on sale, really.
Yeah.
It just happened that so happened.
And we hadn't tried it before.
Right, and we hadn't tried it. But I ate one at the theater. You didn't have one.
I haven't tried one yet.
Yeah, I had one. Was it okay? Was it good? It was okay. Mm-hmm. It made me feel like, okay.
I'm at the movies and I'm having a cookie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it made me feel like. It was more of a mental thing.
Yeah.
If I really think about how it tasted, it was just okay.
Right.
But you know what? It was more about the whole thing about being at the movie, being part of this whole group, the family.
People snacking, and you got to be a part.
being able to do it.
Yes.
And so it just, so there is ways you can make this a lifestyle. And it's funny because not snacking, but cheating is not even really something I even think about. And I used to love donuts. And there's people at work who know me that I love donuts. And they're surprised that I can just walk past donuts or that I can look at donuts and say, wow, those look great, and not even pick one up.
And maybe that won't happen right away.
Oh, no, it didn't happen right away. But the reason it happens is because of variety in our diet.
And because this lifestyle is satiating.
Yes.
You do feel better, you feel full, you feel happy, you're not constantly thinking about food.
Right. But I also know that, wow, we have a recipe on our channel for a donut. Yeah. And I've had it. And you know what? It felt like I was eating a donut. Yeah. It looked like a donut.
So why do I need that donut?
Right, so why do I need that donut? Mm-hmm. So again, variety, find variety, try new recipes. It'll help you keep going and be successful in your diet. So we've got people that we hear from all the time who are using our recipes, and they're still losing weight. Yep. And they've lost lots of weight doing recipes that we put out, and that's good. And like we've talked about before, we don't eat that way all the time ourselves. We make a new recipe every week. We eat it. It's done. And then we go back to our
And a lot of times we might not make it again for another year.
That's true.
I just made the apple crisp. And I haven't made that since...
That's been 2 years.
2 years. It's been
Yeah.
2 years. It's really awesome. It was really good. I just had extra zucchini and I made it and it was fabulous. But it's gone. I just made enough for CJ and I. It was like half the recipe.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. I remember why I liked it. I remember why it's a good recipe that others would enjoy. But I'm done with it now.
Right.
You know, I might not make it again for another 18 months. Who knows?
Right.
It all depends.
Right.
But
Okay, so we know that you can be successful on keto in 2020. No matter what happened in 2019, we know that this can be the year that you finally get keto done. You get that weight loss done. You head toward better health, and we're here to help you. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. We do these keto conversations every week, every Wednesday. We do new recipes on Sunday. And again, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as part of our keto family. So
come on back and have a great new year.
Yeah, have a great new year, and we will talk at you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.